I was planning on moving today, so apologies for how I look. I literally just woke up, but I wanted to watch this with you guys before I pack up the computer because, dude, this is wild. Let's take a look at it. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see the full video. Here we go.
Designing to protect and enhance nature. For too long, humanity has existed within dysfunctional and polluted cities that ignore nature. Now, a revolution in civilization is taking place. Imagine a traditional city and consolidating its footprint, designing to protect and enhance nature. The line will be home to 9 million
Look at
residents
this.
And will be
9
built
million
with
people.
a footprint of just 34 square kilometers. And we are designing it to provide a healthier, more sustainable quality of life.
Look at that. Is that not crazy? That's just mind-blowing to me. I mean, it was one of the first things I saw when I woke up this morning, and I was like, holy crap. That's... It looks like, first of all, the scenery for like a Mad Max movie, like post-apocalypse or something. Like everyone lives inside the wall. But also, it's a great idea. Possibly, there's so many pros and cons to this. We'll get into it as she talks about some of the details.
The line's communities are organized in 3 dimensions. Residents have access.
I mean, some of the comments talk about that one. They're like, what are the 3 dimensions? Like upper, lower, and middle class. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream.
Access to all their daily needs within 5-minute walk neighborhoods. And the line's infrastructure makes it possible to travel end to end in 20 minutes with no need for cars.
That's pretty cool.
Resulting in
I like
zero
that.
Carbon emissions. By leveraging AI technology, services are autonomous, saving you time and effort. Designed by world-leading architects, the line is 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, 170 kilometers long.
I don't know what kilometers are, but I just saw the picture that it was as tall as the Eiffel Tower or whatever. Okay, so let's talk about that. The autonomous services,
resulting in zero carbon emissions.
The part where
AI
everything's in walking distance.
Services are autonomous.
Okay, autonomous services. That's the thing I'm gonna talk about. Also, like, it's great that like everything is right there. Healthcare, food, education, everything you need, you can walk to, and everything's automated. And then that made me think, what? Well, then what's the economy? Because literally, if everything's automated by AI, which I do think the future is going there, it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Like literally, you gonna have a job or not? Like that's the real question. Do people have jobs or not? And what job? You gonna go work at Starbucks? Nope, automated. You gonna drive for DoorDash? Nope, automated. Don't need Uber drivers. Everything's, all that's taken care of. It's like, that's like the majority of people, at least in America, work those kinds of jobs that are all gonna be automated. And I understand that's the future. That's where it's going anyway. That's where it's going. But this is something, whatever. These are like, this is not just like a hypothetical thing. This is a real thing that Saudi Arabia apparently announced that they're building. So it's like, I don't know what the timeline is on this, but yeah, it's like, what do people do for jobs? And how's the economy? You just get this for free? Like, what do you pay for? How do you pay for it? Like, they're not going to build this giant structure as tall as the Eiffel Tower and super long, like with 9 million people inside, and just give it away for free, right? Like, people got to work and make money and pay for stuff, right? How does that work, and where does the money come from? What is money? Is there even money? These are things I need to know, because I don't trust that a city like this is just being given away for free. Because, like, what are the jobs if literally everything's automated? Okay, doctors, I could see, because they talked about the healthcare facilities. What else? You know what I mean? Like maintenance people on the AI stuff and the delivery drones. Like, you need some maintenance techs, but not everyone can do that. The problem I have with stuff like this, where ideas like this, where like everything is provided for you and taken care of in this walled city, in this system, is that people like me don't function well in the system. Clearly, I mean, look at me. This is not. This is how my life is. And there's a certain number of people in every society that sort of fall through the cracks. And it's like, what happens to them? What happens to people like me? I either, one, will have to like conform and do whatever they say, or two, get kicked out. See, I don't know. I don't understand. And that's the thing about, it's not, it seems like, do you know what the word gatekeeper is? In the music industry, there's a word called gatekeeper, and there used to be gatekeepers. If you wanted to be a musician and like have a album and stuff, there were gatekeepers. There was the record labels. You had to go through a record label if you wanted to be on the, I'm talking 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago, for decades, there were gatekeepers. If you weren't signed to a big record label, you couldn't have a song on the radio. You couldn't have a hit song. You know what I mean? And I don't even know if there were any exceptions until recently, the last 10, 20 years. I don't know if there were or not. But basically, you had to go through a gatekeeper, a record label, because they held all the power. Now, with the internet, it's not like that. Anyone can put a song on Spotify, and it could go viral and blow up. You could pay $20 to DistroKid and get your music all across the world, $20 a year. And even if they block, because of my account, for some reason, DistroKid like randomly blocks your account sometimes, and mine got blocked. So I switched to BeatStars. They have competitors. BeatStars, like also like $20 a year, and I can distribute my music anywhere in the world. There's no gatekeepers. I have an internet connection, and I have $20. I can do it. You know what I mean? With something like this, it's like it seems like they're adding gatekeepers back because they're providing everything, which is, I get it. I understand that makes sense if they're providing literally everything, including autonomous services. Butchered that word, but that scares me. Also with YouTube, what if they say you get all this stuff for free, but here's what you got to do. For 4 or 5, 6 hours a day, maybe 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, you got to do this. You got to work here. You got to do what we tell you. Almost like a communist thing or whatever. I don't want to even bring up that word because there's like so much depth to that I'm not willing to get into. But basically here you can live for free, but you got to do what we tell you for a certain number of hours a day. Possibly. If that's the case, I wouldn't like that because I would lose a lot of freedom. Because for me, I used to work jobs I hated. And again, with YouTube, there's no gatekeepers. Like if you used to want to have your own show, your own TV show, or you talk to a camera and people could watch and listen like 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, you had to go through a network and work there for whatever. I don't know how it worked. Years. You know what I mean? Just to be around a show, and no guarantee you'd ever be on a TV show. But now with YouTube, what I did, I started with my cell phone, filming myself. And then people started watching. And then I started making money from the ad revenue. And I made enough and getting sponsors, getting my own sponsors. I was reaching out to brands. Yo, if you pay me like $500, I'll put you in my next YouTube video. Okay, it paid my rent. You know what I mean? Well, it wasn't enough to pay my rent. But you get the idea. It helped. And then eventually I was making enough to pay all my bills. I started just with a cell phone. Any teenager working at McDonald's at the drive-thru can afford a cell phone. And that's all I had when I started. And then I was able to quit my job and do YouTube. And now I have gear and equipment and stuff. But it all started by just filming myself on my phone. A situation like this, you may not be able to do that. Like, you might not have that freedom. Because I walked away from my job when I was making enough money from this. I said, I'm not doing it. I'm making money my own way now. And I'm done with this. But if you live in a city like this, they might not allow you. Who knows what they like, hey, you're still getting, like, you're still living in our city. Like, getting all this free stuff. So you still have to show up every day. Until we tell you not to. That's what scares me, is the system is like so structured. I value like my own freedom quite a lot. I just do. And so that's why this scares me so much.
Saving you time and effort. Designed by world-leading architects.
Like, yeah, saving you time and effort. It's definitely going to be convenient. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be super nice. I mean, that's the point. That's the trade-off. That's why people are willing to say, okay, I will give up some of my freedoms because, look, it's so awesome. It's so nice. You know, it's going to be easy. Life's going to be easy and good. Well, personally, I don't really care about having an easy life. I want to have a fulfilling life. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. And my own personal freedom matters quite a lot to me.
Is 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, 170 kilometers long, and housed
that's
within
really
an
long.
elegant mirror glass facade.
Fancy.
Intelligent solutions create efficiency and year-round temperate microclimate with natural ventilation.
That's cool.
Energy and water supplies are 100% renewable. The line is designed as a series of unique communities, offering a wealth of amenities, providing equitable views and immediate access to the surrounding nature. With 40% of the world accessible within 6 hours, at the heart of the globe's key trade routes, a place for commerce and communities to thrive like nothing on Earth seen.
Yeah, I mean, this makes sense. Like, to have a structure like this, like a building that, like, uses renewable energy and is still self-sustaining and all that stuff. Lots of people do it on a much smaller scale. You know, there's communities or even individual homes that are built with that in mind to, like, be good for nature and renewable and all that stuff. But something at this scale, this isn't a community of, like, everyone still has some of their own privacy and autonomy and freedoms. It's more like this is 9 million people in the same structure. And that's, maybe it's the scale. Maybe it's the sheer scale of it that's scaring me. I'm not sure.
Before. The Line, the city that delivers new wonders for the world.
So that was it. That was the whole thing. Yeah. And what if you live there and then you just, like, don't feel like following the rules? What happens then? They just kick you out? They just kick you out into the desert? Like, all right, see ya, you're on your own now. You're screwed. Because there's not any cities anywhere near here because they're all in the city. Like, you can't even walk to the net. Like, if you want to get out, you can't even, like, you're just done. You know what I mean? You're done. But, yeah, I don't know. It seems a little sus to me, if I'm being honest. But maybe I'm too much thinking in the doomsday scenario. Maybe it's because I don't trust big powers like that at all. And I genuinely did try earlier in my life to, like, do the right things, like being in school and doing the 9-to-5 job and following, you know, going to college and do what everyone says you're supposed to do in society, and, like, none of it worked. And I learned the hard way. And now people know, people are kind of, like, wise to it, and they're like, yeah, college is a scam. Then for most people, the 9-to-5 thing doesn't work like it used to, like it worked for our grandparents and stuff like that. Now, because the internet, people are, like, wise to it, but that wasn't the case for me a few years ago, and I learned the hard way. And so now I'm just, like, distrustful of, like, well, it didn't work. I followed the advice of what you're supposed to do for a normal life. It just didn't work. So I went my own way. I figured things out for myself, and that's what worked for me. And to be honest, I'm much happier this way. So that makes me naturally distrustful of things like this. But maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe if I think about it more, I'll think of some other things. Like I said, I just woke up. I just saw this and wanted to, like, watch it with you guys and talk about it immediately. Maybe that wasn't so smart. Maybe I should have formulated some thoughts a little bit better. But it is what it is. Let me know what you think. I'd love to see what you think in the comments below. All right, I got to tear down my computer now because I am moving. So